I got new sunglasses at Five Below. I'm looking a little more Tom Cruisey today.
I got these from a Dollar General. Yeah, I think I bought these last night when I bought the dinosaur toys.
We thrift away.
I'm balling on a budget, baby.
Well, I mean, we've talked about thrift stores. I actually love like used bookstores, used DVD stores. Like back home, there's the Exchange and Half Price Books.
I would be. Well, I mean, who knows if they're still there?
Well, in Los Angeles, there was a place called the CD Trader, and that's where I would always shout out CD Trader. But that's where I get all my movies. They have the best movie selection. If you wanted a vinyl,
Yeah, used it. Yeah, for stuff like that. But the unfortunate thing is that, I mean, I know it'll spike again, but there isn't much going financially for used DVDs and movies as far as like a business.
Yeah, well,
Like,
I mean,
I think the product will spike at some point when people
give it 10 years.
look at but if you're open right now and you're trying to sell used DVDs, your business is probably not booming. Depending
Well,
what
I mean,
you do.
you're probably breaking even because I mean, I think I still think there's like an underworld of individuals that still buy DVDs. You don't really see them much in stores anymore, buying new copy DVDs. I don't know if they're going to stop making new DVDs, but I have a feeling they're going to get to a point where
I think they'll.
production is low, but then all of a sudden they start seeing a spike in DVD sales just because it's almost like a collectible item.
Or even the sense of
Physically owning a copy.
streaming services are sharing stuff so much now that I feel like if you like a movie, like, kind of used to be like, oh, there's these movies on this streaming service.
Well,
But now it doesn't even matter if it's an original or not of like HBO.
Yeah.
It'll show up on Netflix. And like movies are, well, like I always thought the new Mortal Kombat movie or the most recent one, thought that was like HBO exclusive for like Max.
No,
but now it's on
yeah.
Netflix. Yeah.
Well, no,
and I get somebody
and
else
that's kind of
did
weird.
it, but
It's kind of weird also that
a DVD you can't
isn't-
switch
isn't like
how you watch it.
Isn't HBO shows now on Netflix?
Yeah, I think wasn't Sopranos popped up on
it was
there
in
or
Sopranos.
something? Yeah,
Something
I
like-
don't-
and it doesn't make any sense. That why would
there's a couple shows, yeah.
why would they let the competition have their shows, but then also Netflix has to pay them to have their shows on their
It's all
streaming services. And I
it's
guess
all money, and really, I forget what show or movie. That is is that a bumblebee?
where
That way.
probably a horse.
big bug.
Probably like a horsefly.
Oh
or
no,
something
it's
like
a
that.
very big bug.
Yeah.
That's not a
Nah,
bad thing.
I bet you that's a honeybee.
Yeah.
They don't sting, don't they? I think
No,
they
yeah,
don't
they're-
sting. They're good.
I think the bigger the bee, the nicer
They're like
they
the
are.
manatee of the
Kind of.
bees.
The manatees
The manatee
of the bee
of
world.
the bee.
But no, I think streaming services, the reason I feel like, especially now, are so okay with just like sharing IPs and stuff like that, is because they make their money by getting somebody to, kind of like a gym. You subscribe, you
Yeah.
pay, you agree to pay monthly, and then whether you're watching or not, which obviously it's better for them the more you watch, but then you forget about that subscription.
Yeah,
And
well,
once they get you in the door,
well-
most likely 8 times out of 10,
well,
they
what
got you.
I don't understand how they make so much money. The only way I can see it is the stock is so high, the value of the company is so high, but I don't see how they have all this apparent revenue that's coming in. Yeah, they do have people that are streaming, but how many people are sharing? I know they're cracking down on the sharing.
Yeah, but it's
and I know
also even now Netflix is full of ads.
Yeah, well, that's the
And
thing
I'm
too.
sure
That
that's
was like
probably
the one
their
thing.
main bread and butter right now.
Well, it's funny how there's no ads, no this, no that, and now all the streaming services are doing ads because that's how all television made their money.
Yeah.
You paid a boatload of money for a spot during the most popular television show on TV. So, like, if, let's say, back in the day, The Simpsons or The X-Files was on, everyone watched that. You would pay, to have a spot in this, you'd pay, what, I don't know, $1 million for a spot.
Yeah, whatever.
And that's how
it may
they
be,
made all their
like-
money. And then it paid, all the ad revenue, it paid for the show and all the actors, and then whatever's left over, you pocketed.
I wonder if Super Bowl commercials now.
Those are insane.
Yeah, I know
amount of money
price
you gotta pay,
is
yeah.
insane, but I wonder if it's technically gone down. I mean, you probably would want to calculate inflation.
I mean, it probably has gone
But-
up because more people watched this past Super Bowl than ever, and it was probably because of Taylor Swift, but
Oh, right.
because of the Swifties.
I forgot all of that. With,
It was
that
a
dude,
it was a
Travis
good it was a
something.
good Super Bowl. It wasn't that great of a Super Bowl. I wasn't really rooting for either team. I was kind of rooting for who was it? It was whoever they were. Kansas City was playing who in the AFC Championship game. I wanted them to win, and I wanted the Lions to win, but it was the two teams I didn't want in the Super Bowl. I kind of was rooting for the Lions just because, I mean, hell, just like the Cleveland Indians, it's always...
well, right, just to see
It's always...
somebody get it.
Yeah.
Somebody get in and win.
Yeah, get a win for that Midwest town. But
Well, it's like when, what was the playoffs? What was it? Chicago Cubs and Indians, and Cubs won.
yeah, that was kind of a heartbreak.
I mean, it sucks to be a Cleveland fan, but it's almost one of those situations.
I was at the game. Did I tell you
The
that?
final one?
Yeah, I was in standing room only. It was me, Teresa, my brother and sister, my mom and dad went, but they sat in seats.
Uh-huh.
We stood, the four of us stood. And when Rajay Davis hit that home run, dude, I sprinted around the stadium yelling, that just happened, to any Cubs fan I could see, because half the stadium was full of Cubs fans. Because all the Indians fans were, again, they're called the Guardians now, but I still refer to them as the Indians.
Oh, right, yeah, they are the
But,
Guardians. I forgot.
But, yeah, I was kind of disgusted that a lot of Cleveland fans sold their tickets to Cubs fans. Like, I was hearing that people were selling for like 10 grand, and they bought the tickets for 300. They sell them for 10 grand, and they pocketed the money. Yeah. And I mean, dude, that's the one thing about sports.
I got no problem with that because I
Now,
don't really
what I
have
would
an
do-
allegiance to
What
any team or anything.
I kept the World Series ticket somewhere. I don't know where I put it. It's at my parents' house. But if they would have won, I would have kept that ticket for. I would have put that in like a laminated, like, casing or some type of sleeve.
Yeah.
Not let anything touch it, and then sell it as memorabilia 20, 30 years from now for like 50 grand. Because, dude,
I mean,
anything sports.
Technically, you can still sell it to a Cubs fan.
Yeah, I mean,
It
that's
doesn't
what I mean.
say what side
That's
you're
what
rooting for.
that's
you
what
know
I mean.
It's-
So you hold on to all this stuff, and I'm noticing that everything now is an investment because I guess when we were growing up, we sort of were living as culture was being made, especially in the 90s and early 2000s when like computers was coming out, television was becoming even more mainstream. We were sort of. I remember
Right.
growing up. I watched
like
that.
cable was more household.
They
than
televised
just-
the entire. You remember Elian Gonzalez, the little Cuban boy that they.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
The-
they televised them go into the.
in the balloon, right?
Oh,
Or
no,
the-
no, he was on like a boat or something
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
from
yeah,
Cuba, and everyone died, and somehow he washed up on the shore
Yeah,
in Miami or somewhere, wherever it was.
What was the kid that was in that? Like, it almost looked like the Ready Pop or whatever.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about? That foil balloon where a kid was like flying. And
Maybe.
it turns out the parents faked it or something.
I have no idea. I don't remember that
Like
one.
a kid. Yeah. Anyways, so a
But-
kid washed up.
Yeah, so Elian Gonzalez, and then the father in Cuba wanted, because I guess the mother but took the kid and fled to America, because I guess, I don't know, the dad didn't want to come to America, but the mom did.
Maybe I have these.
Everyone
stories
died
fucked up.
in the boat,
Yeah.
and then, he
'Cause
washed
I
up
feel
on
like
shore.
that's-
They found the family, cousins or aunts and uncles or something like that. And then the father's like, it created like a whole international incident. And they literally televised the SWAT team breaking into the house and stealing the child back. And then they sent him back to Cuba and reunited. But you watch the whole thing on television. Same thing with Desert Storm. They televised the whole war. And it's kind of crazy how we were growing up in a time where television was becoming like the real world on MTV.
Yeah.
Reality TV was slowly becoming the thing.
No. Yeah.
American Idol,
I mean, I
like
will
talent
say,
shows are really
talent shows-
blowing up.
VH1 really.
We were living through culture, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And now,
I mean, there's always culture.
I
but-
think the culture today is what was retro 40, 30, 20 years ago. I don't think we really have much of a. Today doesn't seem like today has much of their culture. Like
Oh
we
no,
grew
I
up with
actually think it's. I would kind of disagree with that. It's such a. It happens to every generation, but like, dude, you see 5-year-olds doing the little Fortnite dances, stuff like that, and like making all these references to YouTube stars and all these quotes. It's moved to a different place, but it's just like we don't have a TV screen
Yeah.
where ads and commercials and stuff like that tell us what to listen to. Now there's the internet, and what a 12-year-old thinks is cool is not something you're going to Google or that's going to pop up on your algorithm. So I think it's very much existent. We just don't come across it until you randomly see a 10-year-old, doing the little flossing or whatever it may be.
Let me ask you this: is there a movie star today other than Tom Cruise?
I mean, we've had this discussion. I feel like we've probably recorded it before. Not really like Tom Cruise, but I would even say Tom Cruise is even. I think he's still effective. I like him, but I just think what movies are different now. Like I think Tom Cruise is still a draw, obviously like Top Gun, but I think that idea of movie stars and that idea of even movies. We were talking about like streaming and movies making money in the theater. I think it's just that general idea. I think is kind of like done. I don't think there is.
Which is kind of sad because that's how I grew up.
Yeah, but also the young kids.
We do get a lot of.
If they don't
looks.
care, they don't
you
care.
notice that?
Yeah,
we get a lot of looks. I think if we get.
Feel bad doing the podcast right now because.
It is what it is.